So we are here at the Bauma and we are having an interview with the product manager of Piling Creeks, Tommy. So could you please introduce us Piling Creeks?
Yeah, so the Junttan Piling Creeks, they are reliable and good Junttan products that have been working all around the world for 45 years already. And nowadays we have two product series. We have the X series rigs, which are a bit modern canvas control rigs, and then we have the classic series rigs, which are basically the traditional hydraulic rigs that the Junttans have always been. And depending on the market areas, we mix the classic series with the X series rigs. And mostly in Europe and in the United States, we are selling the X series rigs nowadays. And that selection is nowadays also the widest product selection for the X series rigs. For the models that we have now, we have on the X series we have the PMX22, PMX24, PMX25, and then the bigger rigs in the X series we have the PMX28, which is the biggest pipe driving rig that we at the moment produce. And then on the classic series we have the PM16, PM23 LC and PM25. So those are from the classic series. And on Bauma we have also one rig that we are showing, and that's the world's first electric pipe driving rig. And we have already had the first rig delivered over a year ago to Sweden, and it has been running great over a year there with really reliable operation there, and the customer has been happy with the rig. And now we are showcasing the same rig at Bauma this year. So at the moment we are combining the traditional, good, reliable, simple Junttan rigs with the modern battery-powered electric rigs. And depending on the market, of course, we try to fulfill the customers' needs in all of our markets.
That's really great to hear.
Thanks.
So in our area, city construction is very active. Can you tell what equipment is the best for the city construction, for the high-rise building, skyscrapers?
Yeah. So of course, depending on the market area, I would say in Europe, for example, the electrification is really popular and is growing all the time. So that's why in city centers we are seeing more and more electric equipment. But then, of course, in other markets we have the traditional diesel-powered options still available, and those are also really good for working in city centers. And we fulfill many of the emission classes. So for the restricted areas we can offer stage 5 engines, but then we have the tier 3 options also available for other markets. So really wide offering with those as well.
What is the best product for the concrete piles? Because concrete piles are the most used in Central Asia.
Yeah. So I think depending of course the size of the pile, but in Central Asia we have, for example, the PM25, which is a really popular rig there, and nowadays we also have the PMX22 as an option, and traditionally in that size class we have had also the PM20 LC as a rig, but we can also manufacture that nowadays, but the newer model is the X22, and that's also the same model that now we have the electrified version for in that size class.
What about the rigs are already in use? Because our customers are very interested to prolong the life. So is there any way to use equipment for longer and avoid any technical issues?
Yeah, that's a good topic, and sustainability is really hot all around the world at the moment. So we have made big improvements for our service and for the lifetime care for our products. So, for example, we have a really wide range of options for normal maintenances, of course, but then we do refurbishments for Junttan rigs, and we normally have the first refurbishment every 10 years. You own the rig for 10 years, and then it goes to major overhaul, and then it's basically new, and we can also modernize the rig at that point. So if if you need to modernize the rig, let's say you want to have a modernized measuring devices on the rig, we can do it at the same time, or change the diesel to a newer type, or whatever. So it's really flexible. Our service that can also make upgrades to the rig at the same time when you are overhauling.
Okay, yeah. And what about warranty?
So depending on the, for example, the overhaul, there is for the big overhaul rigs, we offer 6 months warranty if they are coming from Junttan officially, and then of course in the smaller like repairs and those kind of things, you have the normal spare part warranty for half a year.
Okay, yeah. Can you tell us like Junttan philosophy and why your customers should choose Junttan?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I think everything comes to the main values of the company. So we always try to be the most reliable partner for our customers. That's the main thing. And us being like a Finnish honest people, we always keeping our word. So if we promise something, we will deliver it. So